everybody, and welcome to House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 233 are open. This week on the show, we're going to be talking about that juicy Nintendo Direct. Josh from Nintendvania is joining me to just dig our teeth right into it and rip some flesh off and just devour what was shown to us late last night. My God, a feast. Josh,
what a meaty boy it was. Thank you for having me, Drew. This is better than Christmas every time. This Direct, and you know the E3 ones, I'm usually really excited for. They're the big ones. We didn't get that this year. We've been starved, and we had one in September now, and I loved it. But we'll get into that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's great. We actually got one because we were sort of expecting one in June, but E3 was a non-event literally. So I think waiting for September, that's when the next likely one was to be. We usually get them in September. It's been 8 years in a row. Nintendo's been holding these, so it's kind of to be expected. There's lots of rumors and leaks. Well, not really leaks, just made up fairy tales. About
wannabe leakers,
a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was on the Nintendo Drive earlier today, and I felt like I was a little bit hard on Jeff Grubb. I really let him have it, but it's not because. Yeah, you go, Josh.
I listened to their podcast, Last of the Nintendogs, which is a great podcast, by the way. And they were very sure of this. Mm-hmm. The Metroid Prime remasters, and then the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess coming, and none of it happened. So I kept watching, here's the one more thing, it's going to be it, and then it wasn't. So don't know who's giving him this information. Things change, I get that, and absolutely, it's been pretty good in the past, but wrong on all counts. So yeah, I don't know what's happening there.
It just what frustrates me is just those games are just pretty easy sitting ducks, and they're always brought out. They've been in the rumor mill for, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years at this point. It's always a Metroid remake or trilogy, and then there's the leftover Wii U HD ports that will hopefully be coming over. And I think eventually they will come into fruition, and we will buy them on our Nintendo Switch. And it could have very well Nintendo decided to release them early next year if there wasn't a Fire Emblem game or anything. But not the case. But it just frustrates me, because that's what a lot of the dialogue within the Nintendo community becomes. Just are we getting these ports, or is this happening, or whatever? And that's fun. Speculation's fun, but the same beat every single time September comes around, or June or January, it gets. I don't know. I think the podcaster side of me is all right, just calm down, guys. Let's talk about some other things. It's
almost like you want it done and out, so that it's off your shoulders. We can talk about something else, I suppose everyone's talking about that annual Zelda, and Breath of the Wild getting delayed, and so it just made sense. But I don't know whether Nintendo really does have this ready to go. We just don't know yet. And then whether they felt that this year was packed enough with without Zelda, and that Tears of the Kingdom is coming out pretty, not too far away. Whether it was, going to cannibalize their sales, or maybe 2024 will get it. Now, I can't see it happening next year now, those ports.
Yeah, probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense for next year. It is funny, the Direct, it wasn't live streamed in the UK. It's fair enough.
Yes.
The Queen just died, and obviously, just my highest respects to the Queen. I think it's pretty awful what some people are saying online. I don't know how you can say that about a human being, and one as prolific as she was, and the age she was, and all the incredible things she's seen and witnessed. I think it's a little bit strange how people are jumping on it straight away, but in some ways it was funny. Just now that we've got the full picture, didn't want to live stream because their big headlining game is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Oh shit.
Nintendo, there's just something about Nintendo and the timing of their things. I'm thinking of the Advance Wars, the first one back 21 years ago now, and then the recent one this year with the war in Ukraine, and then now this. It's just it's just weird, the timings. Even Animal Crossing with the pandemic, just the timing of their announcements. I don't know, something's up.
There is some odd timings, yeah.
Yeah. interesting. It makes you think there's something else to it. Get the conspiracy theories going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And wonder about it. Yeah. But
Jeff
yes.
Grubb. Start spreading that around.
But it's very sad about the Queen. Oh, yeah. Big, legacy. Like, she was always there. Just weird that she's not here anymore,
Yeah, but we see her on our money, but we will not see her in person anymore. All the trips I make to Buckingham Palace, just catch up with her, play a golden Wii.
Yeah, well, she was on your podcast once, wasn't she? Like,
oh yeah, first guest actually, right. Episode 1. Actually, episode 0 before episode 1, we had the Queen on, but yeah, for some reason that episode got lost. Actually, a bit of a shame. That was a pretty good get actually, as far as a guest goes. But
for sure.
Oh well, you win some, you lose some as a podcaster. But yeah,
what does happen to the golden Wii now? Like, has that already been like thrown away, or like is there a big storage warehouse where all of the Queen's presents go? Because like she can't use all of them, obviously. Like she would get so many. That must go somewhere.
Something I've got to look up on Google. I do not know. So we go to
because they wouldn't resell it. Maybe they donate it to someone. I don't know, like a charity or a hospital or something. I don't know. I'd like to know. We're getting very off topic here, but
a gold-placed Nintendo Wii console was gifted to Queen Elizabeth II after tabloid stores reported her fondness of gaming with her grandkids. Oh. So that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
And 2 days ago, gold-plated Nintendo gifted to Queen resurfaces. Let's go to this. This is on Channel News. So that's my internet's really slow here in Australia. It takes just for everybody who's international, it takes probably literally that 10 seconds to load a news article here. God forbid.
Yeah.
So a gold-placed Nintendo Wii console was gifted to Queen Elizabeth. In 2008, a UK tabloid reported the gadget-loving Queen has become hooked on Prince William's new Wii console.
Nice.
Quoting the usual unverified palace sources, Sunday People noted the Queen showed signs of becoming a Nintendo addict and had hand-eye coordination as good as someone half of their age. So as good as someone who is 50. All right.
She would have been 80 or something at the time, I reckon. So pretty good still back then. Yeah.
The following year, the now defunct gaming publisher 2HQ UK sent her a copy of Big Family Games package with a gold plated Wii because we thought that Her Majesty, the Queen, would want to play on any old console. The Wii was later returned to THQ and ended up with a collector who had contracts at the company. It passed to another collector who listed it on eBay last year for a cool $300,000 US.
Okay.
The seller noted the visible wearing of the gold plating, adding, "My guess is that it was at one point." There you go.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Bit context to our rambling there. So THQ.
Okay, so it is out there. Yeah.
That's random. Cool. THQ of all the companies. Yeah, that's just
not even Nintendo.
No.
No.
That's why they went out of business, probably. Got a gold-plated Wii going up.
I mean, that's right. The Queen can't pay you for it, and yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's. I really thought it wouldn't go back into the world. Like she'd store it somewhere, but yeah, maybe there's no point for it to do that. Too much stuff.
Yeah, maybe she likes just the nice slick white console. She's one of those people. I like it. I like the white Wii.
Yeah, it's a staple.
Would say no to a gold.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, let's get into the direct. So, what did you think? What were some of your, I guess, highlights of the event? And if you have to give it a score, just to give us a rough idea, what are you thinking?
Well, it all happened. Well, this was like rumored heavily, and this week was like everyone was talking about it, like Splatoon 3's and out and like ready, and so like this is the next obvious thing that's going to happen. And so So like the announcement was nice and short, like 24 hours notice, which I love. Like sometimes they're like 2 days and it's like, the anticipation gets a bit too much. But this is like, I woke up knowing that later tonight there was going to be a direct, which is awesome. So, like September direct's always about, the start of next year, typically. Like there's usually by that point, we know what's happening for the rest of this year. And then they'll do like the first 3-4 months of next year. And so it was cool in this regard because we knew nothing. And so there was a bit to announce and then obviously a bit of hype for it because we hadn't had the E3 one. So I felt this time was a lot more expectation. A lot more people were hankering for something really good, and they get their checklists out and they want this and they want that, and it's hearing a lot of like new Donkey Kong or all sorts of things like that. And so for me, it like honestly, just because of Pikmin 4, I'm ecstatic. Like such like this game has been a meme for so long. Like 2017 was the last time we heard anything concrete about this game in an interview with Miyamoto. And so for 5 years has happened since then. And, everyone thought maybe it's been cancelled. Nothing's been announced. There are even like reports in 2015 of the game nearly being done. And so, it's just one of those, is it never going to come? Like Metroid Dread, that's been, that was 16, 15 years in the making. So to finally have that, I love Pikmin. It's a series more people need to play. To have that finally, coming within the next year or so is awesome. So I got very excited for that. And there's some very cool things. I love Fire Emblem. So having a new one. This was like leaked as well. So this was confirming like a leak a few months ago. So I saw those screenshots and like, yeah, that's the game. So funny how I heard a little bit of people talking about it, but not too many. But yeah, that's great. And then like we've got Octopath Traveler 2. We got some really good ports from other games like PlayStation and Xbox coming over, like It Takes Two, Resident Evil 8. I never expected that to come, but that's cool. I know it's cloud, but there were some really good announcements in between there were like 6 farming simulators, and I was just laughing halfway through because there was like 6 different screenshots of a character like plowing a field. So I want to collate all of them and like tell me which game it is, because I reckon there was at least 5 or 6 of those types of games. So I thought it had, it was a lot of announcements, like a lot. And I think it hit most people's bucket lists. I don't think as much for you, but for me, I would give it, they're not going to give you the whole of next year. They're not going to give you, I think people have a lot of expectations with directs and maybe a bit too high. But for me, it was like a 9, I feel. Like a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to playing there.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
How about you?
Because for me, I really wouldn't want them to outline next year. We've got plenty coming out now next few months. We've got the season to get through. So yeah. I wouldn't want too much. But for me, like I never went to it with a wish list. Yeah. Because if I was at a wish list, I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to see Zelda. I would want to I don't know, like my pie in the sky friend I'd love to see is Kid Icarus, but I never went in there hoping or expecting them. I was just like, all right, show me what you want me to pay for, and I'll decide whether it's worthy or not.
Yeah. And that's right. Nice.
For the most part, I did a stream last night, and I think I said it was like 6, but I think it was good. It was good. So probably a 7, honestly. Just like looking at a few titles, and because I've got like a good 5 or 6 games where I'm like, yep, like I'm getting it, whether I was already getting it or it's coming from another platform, or it's something like Zelda, which was already a shoo-in. Like they could say they're releasing a Zelda game in 2030. I'm like, I'm there. I'll order it now. Like I'll put $10 down.
That's what it will be at this rate. It's like if it was Kid Icarus, a new entry in the series, or like what else would have been like for me with Pikmin 4 making it really special for you? What sort of announcement would have taken it up to that sort of level?
Yeah, it's interesting because like I've already got a lot of my big exciting games. Like we've already got
Yep.
like a new generation of Pokemon coming and Smash Brothers. Mario Kart's getting DLC again.
Yep.
Probably another Mario title from the Tokyo team. That would be exciting.
Another 3D
But
entry.
yeah, I think that'd
Yep.
be pretty cool. But honestly, like, Zelda's on the horizon now, and Fire Emblem, I was really excited to see that. So yeah, I don't know. I can't ask for too much. I think it was just a bit bloated. I think with in some ways, like the third party content, I think it's great that there's so many publishers and companies wanting to work with Nintendo. It's great to see ports coming over of games that are on Xbox and PlayStation platforms, but I think they need to maybe do a bit better job sort of creating the sort of range of games that they show. Seemed like a bit too much orientated to like the farming simulator, and I know like a lot of people are probably into that, and that's fair enough. Because like personally for me, when I watch an Xbox conference, I'm sort of just sitting there being like, oh, it's another like first person shooter, lots of violence and whatever. It's just like it like I don't mind a few of them, but I want a bit more variation in there. And I'm talking about like Xbox 360 days. I think Xbox have done actually a really great job in the last few years, bringing a bit more diversity in there in the lineup for Game Pass. But that's just an example for other types of people. But I think like for anyone who's interested in it, it's great for them. Like a bunch of JRPGs as well, which I'm excited for. Like a handful of them, not every single one. Jesus Christ, I don't have that much time.
But you get your Atelier.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was really, that was probably the biggest I got out of the whole event, to be honest. Just like Atelier Riser 3 having Switch early next year. And that was an announcement I was waiting for. Good. Yeah, because they were teasing a new game in the series for Tokyo Game Show. Like, oh well, cool. We'll see it at I don't know, whatever news outlet reports on it, and I'll read it there. But it's cool to get at the direct. That'll be a PlayStation and PC game as well, if it's like the other games.
Yep. You'll get it on Switch.
So pretty stoked. Yeah. Absolutely. I'll get that on Switch. Might get it both and just
double dip.
None of them. No, I don't think I'll do that. But yeah. So let's start playing some of these. I just got the press release up here, Josh. So we'll just go through in whatever order they've got
Good
up.
Idea.
So let's start with the big showstopper. So we finally got a name for The Legend of Zelda, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And
glad we don't need to say sequel to Breath of the Wild anymore.
Yeah, got to get used to saying Tears of the Kingdom as well. Like it's similar. Like there's two different words in the whole name that are different. So all right, Tears of the Kingdom, not related to the Queen. It is not mourning the Queen. It is
coincidental. Makes you think. Like there's something there. But anyway, I don't know. We'll ask Jeff Grubb. You know, he'll have something.
Anuma killed the Queen and made a game about it. That's what happened.
That's the spoiler. That's the title is there. You know, that's the thing they couldn't announce until it happened. I see we're joking about it now. We shouldn't anyway.
No, we're bad.
Did you like this name? Because I saw it straight away, and it just like I love this name. It just I don't know. I just some of the other names are like yes they're fine, but like Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know. Just seeing the trailer and like Hyrule below coming up to the sky, it looks like, things are breaking apart. Some of the rock formations that were floating up looked like tears in one scene. It just, I don't know, just straight away, I'm like, that's a cool name. So I was wrapped with it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It didn't like blow me away or anything. I wasn't like, oh, that's a really cool name. It didn't shock me. Because I remember Breath of the Wild at the time was like quite a strange name for a Zelda game. Like it stood out. It was different.
Yeah.
Like, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. So you got a lot more syllables in Breath of the Wild. Jeez. Keep your mouth full every single time you say it. But especially once we get context, like what are the Tears of the Kingdom? Like we can sort of see like Link has like the tear vessel from Skyward Sword on his on his hip there, and a lot of homages to Skyward Sword. Looks like you're rebuilding Skyloft in some fashion.
Yep. Yeah.
Be interesting to see how it all ties in together, and that's probably another reason why we won't be. Seth brought this up when I was talking to him and Sean on the Nintendo Drive, where Nintendo probably actually wants the last Zelda game that was released to be Skyward Sword, to sort of link up the story and the lore and whatever you need to know going into this game, potentially, if you need to know that. So putting like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess in between that might sort of mix up that message.
Yeah, maybe a little. For sure. That's, yes, because Skyward Sword's all about the beginning, isn't it? And so this is, very early on this game, isn't it? In terms of the time frame, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah, overall.
Yeah, Skyward Sword was technically the very first game.
Yeah, very first one. Yeah, but then Breath of the Wild's just after, isn't it? Effectively, I believe. So, is this the first time where a sequel or a subsequent Zelda game is pretty much in the same universe as the prior Zelda game? Because there's a lot of it is like a reset every time, and I know there's a timeline and all that, but I don't know. It's just like it is a direct sequel by the looks of it.
Yeah. Well, you had Majora's Mask that picked up straight after.
Yeah, and that's kind of, isn't it? Yeah. I wouldn't say fully, but yeah, it is along those lines, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say as closely as this is. You also had, I guess, if you want to count it, like Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass, which was a DS game, and then Spirit Tracks, which followed that game like a few thousand years on from that one as well. But it seems like this is the same link. So those Toon links weren't the same link. But Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, it was the same link. I don't know if it matters.
No, it's just us geeking out.
So fun following the Zelda timeline. Makes no sense. Did you get the Zelda Historia?
No.
Like the big book? Oh yeah, it's got like all the timeline in it. That's where like it like officially become real, the timeline.
Yeah, Mickey might have that actually. Yeah, it's a big green book, isn't it?
Yep. I got it back here, I
think we have it. I remember.
It's good to read.
Yeah.
Get some nice knowledge into you about the Legend of Zelda. Oh, look.
Bit of the lore. Yeah.
So what happens if a Link dies? Oh, you go and play this game. Oh, all right. What if he lives? Oh, all right. He goes to Twilight Princess. That's interesting. What about if he
becomes cell shaded and gets hated for 20 years? Then people realize, oh no, it was a cool design to begin with.
Just goes to Wind. Yeah, then it goes to Wind Waker. Very interesting. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it's sort of weird how it all splits off there, but I think fans are just like looking for all the games to fit in together. And Nintendo's like, all right, we'll give it to you. These are just standalone adventures, but
yeah, it will do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks great.
So,
it
does.
Release date as well.
So it comes out on 12th of May, 2023, which is awesome. Not too far away. That was when the date come up. It's American, so the month and the day are swapped around for us here in Australia. And I'm just looking at it, being like, oh, is that just late at night, almost like 1 o'clock. It's just like computing in my head. Is that December or May? Oh,
yeah,
May. Good, because I did when they announced Animal Crossing New Horizons at E3. I was like, yes, it's like so close. I'm like, then a switch went off in my head. I'm like, no, that's March next year. Oh shit, that's 9 months away.
God damn, yeah.
I was like, oh well, a couple of months away, but no.
We do it right though, because we do day, which is the shortest period of time first, then month, which is the medium period of time, and then year. And the Americans are doing month, which is 30 days, day, which is the shortest amount of time, and then year at the end. So there's no sort of logical up or down. It's a zigzag kind of. I don't get it.
Yeah,
that's all right.
For me, like the information I want, like right now, like what day of the month is it? Because you're not like, oh, what month is it? And you look at your phone.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, like you want to know the date when you do. So that's like the first number. It's like in order of importance, because you're never going to be like, hey, what's the year? Oh yeah, 2022. Yeah, that's right. What's the month? like, and that can happen at the start of the month, obviously.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're like, is it the 20th or the 21st? Oh, yes, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I'm so used to these Nintendo presentations being geared towards the American audience that, you know, I see, spring 2022. I'm like, okay, it's autumn for us. Or, you know, the month is always first. And so I don't know, it's just default by now. But, you know, just write September, you know, instead of doing a 9.
That's all right. I'm
My
just a big
feedback anyway.
dum-dum, so.
Oh.
So, yeah. It's one of those games I honestly kind of don't want to know about. Like, I want to stay away from it. I don't want to be like, I almost don't want to be looking at like every single screenshot and trying to work stuff out. I just want to go into the world. And Breath of the Wild, I remember I was sort of trying to avoid spoilers and all that, but it's also one of those games where they can't spoil the game for you. It's so big, there's so much to do. They might be like, oh, this is a shrine puzzle, or even like, you know, some other stuff in the game, which was pretty cool. It's like one off, but someone would have to sit down with you for 3 hours and be like, all right, I'm going to spoil this game for you and really explain what happens.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for when they do the similar trailer like they did just before Breath of the Wild came out, because that's like the pinnacle of game trailers, and I'm not going to be able to not resist watching it. It's going to be like straight away I'm going to be all over that. So if you get to that stage and don't watch it, very like good on you. But no, when they do that, like March next year or something, I'm going to be all over it.
Yeah, I will be too, but I don't want to. I'll be kicking and screaming. It's the same with Pokemon, like Pokemon Violet Scarlet. Like a bunch of leaks come out. I'm like, oh, no, they're there, but I don't want to know. But I do want to know.
Yeah, I do want to know. I am. That's right.
There I am, and they're like, oh, look, your Pokemon turn into crystals. Like, oh, there you go, then. Well, there you go. There's my knowledge hit for the day. And a couple of weeks later, a trailer comes out. Like, oh, look at your Pokemon. They terrestrialize. Isn't that interesting, everyone? It's like, yeah.
It's interesting. So, you're a Nintendo podcaster, Drew. You can't help it.
No, it's what makes the world go around. Nintendo game information. That's right. So let's move on to one of your favorites, Pikmin 4. So what do you think that they're trying to sell you on Pikmin Bloom for like 5 minutes beforehand? Oh my God, Miyamoto, all due respect, but shut up.
This was the roller coaster moment for me in the direct. I thought, okay, if Miyamoto's going to come, I saw him. Okay, he's going to talk about the movie, and he only briefly mentioned what had already been announced, that there was a delay, and so they didn't add anything, which I thought was, you know, they could have added something, but they're not ready, obviously. And then I felt really uncomfortable when he kept talking about Bloom, and I thought, is this him just trying to, you know, this isn't a new game. This has been a while now. It's been out, like, and they talked about it for, I reckon, a solid 90 seconds at least. And so I was just getting, is this it? Like, surely they just can't just have the Pikmin news as Pikmin Bloom. And so I was sweating bullets at this stage and getting a bit uncomfortable. Because it was excitement at first, then Bloom comes in and they keep talking about it. And I'm just like, oh no, come on, please, please, please. And at the very end, for it to finally happen, unreal. This is, like 10 years in the making. And Mickey, my partner, thought she thought the one on the Switch was like a new entry, and so it's like, oh, cool. Like you're being like, I think there was a bit of undertone. No, there was one that just came out, but I'm happy for you that there was a, there's a new one for you. But like for it to be 10 years, like it's massive. And the one before, from 2 to 3, was 9 years, and so, you know, we've been starved. Mickey's overhearing my throwing her under the bus. No, she was very happy for me. So it looks beautiful. No, we only saw like a little brief trailer, but I'm like pumped, very excited for this. The series isn't dead. They're continuing to put time into it.
Yeah, I'm glad there's one coming out. Like, I want a lot of these other franchises to get their shine on Switch. So yeah, Pikmin 4, glad to see it. I'll play it probably day one. So I'm there. I'm actually
Nice.
I bought Pikmin 3 on Wii U and I didn't play it that much. I think that was like around the time where it's I don't know, I sort of gave up the Wii U a little bit. I think I just played Mario Kart and Smash for whenever I picked up the Wii U. But I see it's on sale now on the eShop. I'm like, yeah, I want to play the deluxe version. It's $53 here, so it's as good as I'm going to get when it comes to, Nintendo games.
3 is very well rounded. A great one to start off with. The first one's very short. The second one adds a lot to it, but it doesn't have the time mechanic that makes it a bit more harder. I don't know. And then 3 does a bit of both, and it's still easy. It's a bit of urgency with it. So Deluxe has great features, extra modes. You can't do bingo battle online, which is my only gripe with the game, but well worth it. And so I'm just glad there's a completely new entry in the Switch, because it deserves it. This big install base. Hope they really push it and people play it. It's a great turn-based real-time strategy. Sorry, not turn-based, a real-time strategy game. And Miyamoto has pushed this for years as the next Mario. He's wrong, but it's that's the echelon of what he was trying to aim with Pikmin, and it's a fun series.
I hate to tell him he's not going to be able to create the next Mario. I think he topped himself pretty early on there.
Yeah, that's right. It's digging your own grave, isn't it? But I saw earlier that before the Direct, they did on the eShop promoting certain games, and I saw that Pikmin had been. Someone tweeted about it. I saw that Pikmin was being one of the promoted games, and so hours before the Direct, a little clue. And so I think it was obviously done for that reason. And so I kind of went into it half expecting it, but it's been years of thinking every Direct this might come, but then you're like, nah, it's not going to come. And so for it to actually come this time, I wasn't thinking about it really. And so that just made it all the more special. So I'm talking about Pikmin a lot. So
no. Well, it's one of your most exciting announcements from the actual Direct. So that's awesome.
Outside of Dread, this was a really big one for me. So yeah, super pumped.
Yeah, because they mentioned I can't remember exactly what wording was, but they said something about see the world from the perspective of the Pikmin. Does that mean it's going to be a different sort of perspective? You're not going to be looking down on them. You are going to be I don't know, behind the camera of the Pikmin, or it's going to be first person, or just something like that where everything looks massive. You're not just pointing at the ground and you can see all your Pikmin running about. You come up against one of these big toadstool thingamajigs, whatever they called in the game.
Orbs.
And orbs. And you look up at them, oh my god, that thing is huge. I think that's an interesting idea. How if they play with that a little bit more in Pikmin 4 and really emphasize how small you are on the ground and everything massive and feel terrifying. Because even that simple shift of perspective could make the game feel completely different from the first 3 games.
Yeah, it will show because Olimar's small to begin with. He's only 3/4 of an inch. And so he's tiny in this real world, but he looks a lot bigger than Pikmin. And so the Pikmin are a third of his size. Well, are they? Or maybe half. They're tiny. And so but yeah, we've always had the top view looking like a bird's eye kind of view of Olimar moving around and all that. So it might be cool. It might, the Pikmin, you might be able to see different things going through the Pikmin's point of view. There might be different sort of adventuring pathways you see because of that. And so it's one of those moments I thought, the first time he said it, I thought that'd be cool with the Wii U gamepad somehow. I don't know. It just, for me, it was just that seems like a, you get the Wii U gamepad and you're just you're moving from the red Pikmin's perspective that you just randomly selected or something. So, interesting to see how that goes. So, for me, I like the whole, the time limit mechanic, and also, in 3, you had to collect enough fruit to sort of make sure that a crew could survive. And so, that kind of dynamic, if they build onto it a bit more, which I think they will. There's, it's Nintendo don't make sequels that are exactly the same. And so we're seeing this with the perspective of the Pikmin. I think that's a cool, different way to go about it. So, no gameplay. I'm expecting this to be, second half of next year. But it's, very excited. Finally, this is doesn't feel real still. I don't know. Just Like,
It's that surreal to you where you're like, oh my God, is this
I woke up
happening?
I woke up this morning. I'm like, yeah, this is all happened. You know, like we got a name for Breath of the Wild sequel. It's all happening. So, very happy.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to playing it as well. Not as much as you though. I don't think I could top anything from this direct as excited as you are for Pikmin 4. To be honest,
have you played them at all? The series?
Not much, man. No,
Not much. Because you had 3 for a little.
Yeah, I've only owned 3. I think I didn't have any of the new play control versions for Wii. Yep. Although I potentially could have come across a Pikmin 2 for Wii and picked it up at EB Games for like $15 and just chucked it into my stack. I can't remember. I actually don't know. I would have to go and have a look.
Man, I'm seeing you next month. If you want to borrow it, I will bring it over to Melbourne, a different state that we live in, for you to play it.
I love the idea of just being like, all right, I'm playing Pikmin 2. But holy shit, the games are starting to come out. I don't know if I'll be going back to this year. Like for example, next month is Persona, is Mario Plus Rabbids, is Nier, is etc. Then it's Pokemon and Bayonetta as well. Oh god. Anyway,
I got to finish the first 2. I need to get back into 1 again. Yeah.
Yeah, same here, man. All right, let's move on to Fire Emblem Engage coming year.
Yes.
And this was a game that was leaked. Saw a couple of screenshots, and as soon as like the hair came out, because there's a screenshot of a female playable character with blue and red hair, and in this it featured the male character. Like, well, there it is. There's Fire Emblem, awesome. And I think this looks fantastic. Just from like all the artwork. The artwork alone just has grabbed me so hard. It's just so vibrant and colorful. I love it. And
looks great, doesn't it? Yeah.
Forward to it. Yeah. I had some people in my chat be like, another Fire Emblem game, and I won't call them out, but include Warriors games. This is including Warriors game. This 4th. Like, calm down. It's not much. Just like
we've had
Fire Emblem. This is the second one.
Yeah, with just as many Xenoblades.
More Pokemon games in the last 12 months.
Kirby, that's plenty. It's by the time this comes out, it's been 3.5 years since 3 Houses. So, and they churn them out pretty quickly, these games. And so, we just got lucky that we got a Warriors game as well, 3 Homes.
Yeah, I had a look like in the trailer at the bottom, at the end, it just said Intelligent Systems, who is the developer of the Fire Emblem series. The past few games, Koei Tecmo has been like helping, and basically in the leaks or rumors or whatever it was, that Koei Tecmo is involved again, and Gust, who is actually the behind the Atelier series, is behind the graphics and gameplay. Like, oh, that sounds interesting. And like looking at the screenshots, you can see like Atelier sort of all over it. Nice art style, just kind of a bit budget, if you know what I mean. It's that kind of look, which is fine. I don't even mean that as like disregard. It doesn't bother me, but you can sort of tell that they are the developers behind it. But yeah, I didn't see any Koei Tecmo on it, but when I went and had a look at EB Games, they've got Koei Tecmo listed as the developer. So I'm not sure if EB Games or...
Weird.
I assume it is Koei still doing it. Pretty cool.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, tomorrow at the time of recording this, the limited edition is going up, which comes with steelbook, art cards, art book, all of that. Here in Australia, we can get it from EB Games in the My Nintendo store. I'll actually jump on it. I think I actually might pre-order it.
Take the dive.
Yeah.
It like the box art for the special edition looks great. So what do you get? You get the box, you get the game cards, steelbook, art cards, and a poster and the actual art book.
Pretty much,
so
it's just
a
like
bit more than a normal. It's a pretty standard.
It's a template.
Special.
Yeah, it's a template for all of like Nintendo special editions. They're pretty cool, to be honest, especially after the very first one being like the Breath of the Wild one with the big box and everything. I thought that was awesome. Which speaking of, actually, I was like, oh, what are they going to do for Tears of the Kingdom? Like big box, limited edition, Switch OLED.
I have to.
Like I've pre-ordered the
Pro
Pokemon
controller
OLED. Please, yes. I've pre-ordered the OLED Pokemon Violet and Scarlet one. That's like, all right. I'm sort
Proud
of.
of you.
I can't. It's a disease. I'm collecting the Pokemon Switches now.
I need help.
Yeah, well, a little bit.
This is the best looking. Like actually, I don't know. I do love the Splatoon 3 one, but this one is up there, if not better. The Scarlet Violet one.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Splatoon one was amazing, and I think the Pokemon one is okay, but I just like Pokemon way more.
Okay.
So,
you do have a problem then. You just
yeah. I like the color honestly better on the Splatoon one, but yeah, I'm just much bigger Pokemon fan. But yeah, disease. Yep. Don't let me cough near you. You'll end up in hospital with a Switch OLEDs. You're like, oh, what? No, doctor, take these away. Like, I can't, mate. I can't refund them for you. Oh no, I'm a doctor. I don't work at EB Games, mate. I can't do anything for you.
The trading value for my left kidney is horrible. This sucks, man. I'm going to take my business elsewhere.
Just plonk it on the table. How much I get for this? It's like, I'll tell you what, if you meet me at the back, I'll give you $400. My wife really needs a kidney, so I'm glad you come in.
Needs a kidney.
I'm working at EB Games to try and pay the medical bills, but it's not happening.
Do you price match?
Anyway, that's a weird tangent. Fire Emblem Engage. It's interesting just reading from the press release here. In a war against the Fell Dragon, 4 kingdoms work together with heroes from other worlds to seal the weekend, and the Fell Dragon is about to reawaken. Let me make it a bit bigger. As a divine dragon, use rich strategies and robust customization to meet your destiny, to collect the emblem rings scattered across the world and bring peace back to the continent of Elios. Summon and fight alongside legendary heroes from emblem games like Marth, Celia. And I probably butchered that. And add their power to yours in this new story. So it's interesting too. Like we saw Marth in the trailer, and I think it's a cool concept. Just going around basically collecting these, I guess, old characters to just make an ultimate party to really kick ass. It sounds like fun. And from like all the cutscenes and that
But this is directly like they this was the rumored game that got leaked months ago. So it was 100% correct. So looks great. I think the art style pops a little more compared to Three Houses. Just it's a bit more bright and colorful and poppy in terms of visual look.
Yeah, they're going for like real like light blues, reds, like just really looks good.
So which I don't mind. It's got its unique look compared to Three Houses. So I love these turn-based RPGs now. So yeah, and January, this is like 4 months away. It's so close.
Oh, I was so happy to see that. What a great start to the year. Yeah. Like it's not even February. Like, Christmas is over. You know, you play some games you got for Christmas. Like for me, I'm probably going to be saving God of War and Last of Us Part 1 for like around them and play them and just enjoy them when I'm not, trying to bust my nuts, trying to beat them on the weekend when I'm tired. That's when Splatoon and all these games are going to come into place. But
we've had the last few Januaries now have been like some decent releases. So that we'll have Fire Emblem Engage next year. We had Arceus January this year. We had Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury the year before that. Was that February? At least it was early on anyway.
Yeah, not sure. Yeah.
And then it was Tokyo Mirage Session was January the year before that, I believe. So I love this. It's a weird month to release a game, I feel, a month after Christmas, because you probably want to do it beforehand to get a bit of momentum with the holiday season. But if there's a gap there, then people keep playing games. So I love it. Start the year off right.
I'm gonna buy a Fire Emblem Pokemon, whether it comes out December, November, January, February, March, April, May. I'll be there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it'll happen regardless.
So next up, we got Kirby's Return. This is a deluxe version of the Wii game, Kirby's Adventure. So I looked at this game. I'm like, it looks like fun. The thing with 2D Kirby game, modern ones, They look fine. I would get a lot of fun out of them. But personally, for me, I don't want to chuck $80 down for this. Like my thoughts. If I like Lucas was a bit older, and I'm like, all right, what can I play with him? Just floating around as Kirby and doing some mini games, probably perfect, and that probably justifies a purchase. But for a 28-year-old who's just playing by himself, I guess it's not really who they have in mind necessarily. But we're getting more Kirby on the 30th anniversary. But yeah, Forgotten Land just sort of really set the bar so high. So yeah, gotta try and match that, I guess now. Poor Hal. Poor Hal.
I was a little underwhelmed. Like compared to Forgotten Land, it doesn't look as good, and it seems too soon. We just had Kirby's Dream Buffet as well, and it's Kirby's an annual thing. So, out of the new games by Nintendo, I was the least interested in this one. So, that's all right. I think I'm with you. I probably won't be getting it, but as great for Kirby fans. So,
and so it's another game for early next year too, like February 24th.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Rolling on to another game if you want some more Kirby. I never actually played it on Wii either, to be honest. I think it was
No, I haven't played this one.
I can't even remember if it was a late Wii game. I think I just ignored it, to be honest. It came out and I didn't even think about it. So it probably means it was a late Wii game. Because I was just thinking about Skyward Sword, and that was what I was playing apart from Smash Bros. On Wii.
Yeah, it was 2011. It came out, so very late in the life cycle of the Wii.
It might have even been the last game before Skyward Sword, almost.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, true. Yeah, around that time. So
there you go. Yeah. So we got some more Nintendo 64 games as well. The most notable, we'll get it off the bat straight away. We've got GoldenEye 007 coming to Nintendo Switch online services to play online with all your mates. And for me, I don't have a for this game, but I know that so many people do. So I'm just stoked for everyone. Buddy Watson was in my chat, and when it came up, I'm like, oh, here we go. He's just like, yes. He's stoked because he was like streaming the game, doing challenges and stuff early year on his Twitch channel. So
nice.
And I've had him on the podcast as well, and his grandparents had a video game store, and he had such great playing Nintendo 64 there and playing GoldenEye. Cool. So like so many people share those memories. So just the fact that Xbox and Nintendo and Rare and 00 license holders were able to come together and get these games onto modern consoles is great. I'm stoked, and I'll give it a go, and probably just get smoked online because everyone's got all their tricks they'll plan with their mates and split screen. I'm just like,
back in the day, this is you had a screen sheet well.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because like it's also coming to Xbox Game Pass on Xbox Series S and X. It's getting like 4K, widescreen support, achievements, all the stuff, which is awesome because the Banjo-Kazooie, well, not remakes, but remasters on Xbox 360 were gorgeous. And that's what I want from every Nintendo 64 game, like especially in like the Mario collection with Mario 64. And I'm really tempted to go and check out the PC port of for its widescreen controls. Like it's just like been redone, but it's still got that really nostalgic sort of art style, which I really like, just like the polygonal Nintendo 64 look. But the Xbox version doesn't have online play. And I've got
so weird.
I've got my theories why.
You tweeted about this. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
you go.
No, you're right. You go. So, well, look at this. We're on.
No, I found it odd. So, I played this game growing up. So we never owned it, but I went to a friend's house and played it. And so I'm very keen for this, but also very cognizant of the fact that people are going to come into this, and I think this game's aged terribly. And so I'm very excited to play it, and then be frustrated by like the very bad and outdated control scheme of it all. But I'm keen to just online play. This is best thing about Switch Online is having you can play these games online with people. So very big thing to get all four, because it was Nintendo and Rare who are now owned by Microsoft, and then MGM, whatever they're called, who own the James Bond rights, coming together. And so for me, this is like the console wars are officially gone. Like, there's no more console wars. It's Microsoft is very chummy with Nintendo, and it's awesome that they can, come to an agreement like this. And it's great that the service, NSO has this type of stuff, because it means we got Banjo-Kazooie, we'll get Sui as well, hopefully, and it's a big coup for the support. But your theory was that it's a ROM, is that correct? And the Xbox version isn't, and that's why it'd be a bit harder to get online play. I really don't know with this sort of stuff, so.
Well, I just want to explain it just in my very basic non-developer way, which is a theory. And I've got no idea. I don't make games, and I've got no idea how to program this stuff. But just my theory, like with Nintendo Switch Online, it's its own app, and it's set up just to put every game that's on that app, like peer to peer, and you're playing like you were just playing the console. Like if we like hook up online, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Play Nintendo 64 online. Got a smile out of him. If we're like playing Nintendo 64 online, like we can go back to the menu and put different games in, and it's just very much like we're sitting on the couch, just doing whatever. And even if we're playing split screen, we can both see each other's split screen, and all of that. And when GoldenEye gets added to this, it is very much just peer to peer, do split screen, no matchmaking, nothing fancy. But with the Xbox version, it doesn't have that, I guess, that back end for the Nintendo 64 app. So they would have to go and sort of work out what they want to do with it. Do they integrate like just the player having their own single screen? Do they have to put in there a matchmaking mode? Do they need to just make it integrate with the Xbox or PC friends list? Like, there's a lot more work we'll have to go into, like the Xbox version of the game, even though they've gone into it and it's like 4K, it's widescreen, done all the bells and whistles. But maybe that's just like a step that was a bit too minutes on servers and all of that they thought wasn't really worth it. And also, like Donnie Reese brought up on Twist Out too, like, is it Nintendo being like, all right, we'll do this, but we want it for our online app, and we want it exclusively online play if we do this.
Yeah.
And Xbox is like, Xbox is like, yeah, whatever. We've obviously got the bells and whistles, and it can go into Rare Replay, Game Pass, and it is what it is. Like, it's better than nothing. So maybe
is it almost like there's no definitive way to play it? Like, there's no better version? Because for people who like online play, the Switch one's better. But for people who like the visuals and the updated, making it look nice, the Xbox one's the way to go. I don't know. Is that honestly like Nintendo didn't want an inferior version out there? Because this way there is no real better game. I don't know. That honestly could be something that they're very conscious of, and then if this game comes out at the same time, people are like, the Switch one sucks or something because, look how good the Xbox version looks and I can play online. But now that's not a discussion because they're different enough. So maybe.
Yeah, because like surely Xbox would have said like Rare, like, we've got the resources, let's get online working, even if it's similar to what Nintendo's doing on their app, where it is just, you see both screens, it is just peer-to-peer, it's nothing fancy. So, yeah, interesting anyway. Sort of an odd situation, especially Xbox, which is known for online play and like it's been doing for decades. It's a little bit strange, but
that's all right. Leading the charge.
We're in that predicament.
Yeah. So. I'm keen for the Switch one because it eliminates the screen cheating. And so it'll be a very different experience. It's not 4 players around the screen and can look at each other's, you can play at home and avoid that. So, as much as, I love couch co-op, and I think it sucks these days that a lot of games don't support it. And then that was, a big childhood thing for me with Nintendo. This is cool though that you can avoid it because screen cheating's can be.
Do you still see their screen though? Do you still see their screen like with Mario Kart? You're doing multiplayer online, Mario 64. Is it split screen still? Because it is just like still the game, but instead of someone having the controller plugged, like like, because I actually haven't tried Nintendo 64 games online. I went and played Sin and Punishment, Mario 4, and a couple of those games. I never actually played online with anyone, but like,
I haven't done Mario Kart 64, so I can't say for that one.
I think you'll be able to screen sheet more because the other person can't actually see you glancing over at their portion of the TV.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, yeah, I don't know for sure, so it could still be there. So fair enough.
Get on the Nintendo Switch
app. It could
app
actually be
and
there.
Be like, don't you bloody look at my screen, Josh. I can hear you bloody glancing over there. I know you know. You bloody oddball and bastard.
That's right. You bloody Pikmin shirt. Who do you think you are? That's a fair point, though. It's like thank you. It's very well fitting. I'm no longer available.
Well, everyone.
This item.
God, it fits.
Thank you.
Fits this man so well.
Visual. People can see this, can't they? We're live. We're video as well.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Thank you. It's
He's got the purple Pikmin hiding his nips. So are there any other Nintendo 64 games that caught your eye coming to this? For me, like Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've never played 2. Played 1. So Pokemon Stadium 2 is great. I played all of these games except Pokemon Stadium 2 and Excite Bike, 64. So nostalgia hit all the others. I can't believe we're getting all 3 Mario parties in such a short span of time. We're getting the first 2 within this year. So I find that really weird. I thought they'd space them out, but I'm fine with that. That's really cool. I love this service. Out of all the consoles, the 64 ones, like I've already put over 100 hours of like playtime playing these games, and I've had a real kick out of it. So this has just been like, the Super Nintendo wasn't my childhood console, but the 64 was. So this has been like kind of like a walk down memory lane playing these games, and so the updated visuals and the online play, just I am big on NSO expansion packs. So I'm getting my money's worth, that's for sure.
Yeah. Any other games you're looking forward to after this? For me, it's Super Smash. Why is it taking so long?
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't part of this. I want to play Donkey Kong 64 because I've never properly played it. I've played it, but I haven't like properly done it and finished it. So I want to do that.
Same here. Yeah.
Conker's Bad Fur Day and Banjo-Tooie. There are other rare games. I think would be great to see. And then I'd love to see the Castlevanias. And so they're not great games, but as a Castlevania fan, to have the 64 and then the other one that came later would be cool. So they've got a few things still, but it's another year after this, and they're pretty short on the first party games coming out for it.
Yeah.
But and no new console, so they everyone thought GBA or Game Boy, and nothing.
Yeah, because for me, like Game Boy or especially Game Boy Advance would be one of those moments at a direct would make that, oh yes, just like really like clench my fist and just have that victory heart palpitation. Oh, yeah, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But more eking out the Nintendo 64 games a bit longer. It's funny, like 64. I just remembered this as we're talking about it. I was I only played Nintendo 64 at my friend's place until I had emulators and bought my own Nintendo 64 and Virtual Console and all that stuff. But probably like early 2000s, just had friends Nintendo 64s, and a friend of mine came over and he brought. He had like so many Nintendo 64 games, and he was like the only person I ever knew until Bryce got a GameCube later who had a game. So I was like, oh my god, he's got all the Nintendo stuff. But he never had a DS or Game Boy Advance. I kept up, but he never had a handheld. I don't know if he just didn't care but anyway, he brought over Pilot Wings 64, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching my Adam play. I'm just watching him fly around, going through rings. I'm like, I turned to Thomas, who brought the game over. I'm like, what is this game? Like, what do you do? He just sat there and told this big elaborate lie about about a dog. I can't even remember, but let's just say it's a dog who lost his owner. He needs to find the rings of chaos to. It just went on, and I'm just there like, okay.
Nice.
I believed it. It wasn't until like years later I'm like, he just sat there and he just fucking lied through his teeth he probably just thought I was the biggest idiot.
Yeah.
I was just there like, what is this game? And I'm just all ears. He knows all about it. I didn't know he's going to be a prick about it.
Good on him. It's like drop bears to non-Australians, just telling them about how the drop bears work.
Hey, don't let that secret
out. True. I'm sorry.
I've got him in my roof at the moment. They might ride onto me and just eat my limb.
Yeah.
A whole limb.
They kill so many people every year. It's horrible. It's really bad. It's something they need to fix. The government doesn't take it seriously enough, I feel. Yeah.
No. I go out like every day and just throw boomerangs at them and knock them out the trees. That just encourages them to drop more.
I find Vegemite. It's like a dollop of Vegemite, smear it on the tree daily, and that's enough to keep them at bay. That like tempers. No, their temper is much better after that. So for anyone,
it sounds like you're playing Pokemon trying to find a Heracross. Putting the honey on the tree and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Where's the Heracross? Got his rare.
Hey, it works.
With Munchlax, so yeah, got some Nintendo 64 games. Let's quickly go through the new Splatfest. Really odd one. The theme is, what would you bring to a deserted island? Gear, grub, or fun? I'm like, I was thinking about
this one as a potential category.
No, I was just thinking about like the three teams now, the new sort of option got open to them, and this is the first one. A little bit like it's creative, but I don't know if it's going to really make us be like, oh yeah, this is the answer. But the other person's like, oh no, you're an idiot. I don't know if I feel that passionately about what I would take. I said that I would like food, as in like grub, which is another sort of a dig at the UK audience. I feel like grub instead of just writing food.
Yeah. Did you? So you would choose grub, would you?
I think so. I'd bring food.
Yeah. I chose gear because I just felt, you can do stuff with it and then you can use it to get food, to hunt animals. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because gear for me, I'll probably just bring a microphone and do a podcast. That's my gear. Or I got like my shearing gear. I can shear some sheep out there, and we can make some quilts, each other warm. Lots of possibilities.
You starve to death in 7 days, but you'd have a good time,
Oh yeah, great time.
Yeah.
Have you been running Splatoon 3? I've only played a bit over the weekend, like a bit each night. I haven't done too much. Done like a bit of and some. Oh Jesus Christ!
Sorry, my cat.
The hell was that? Scared the crap out of me.
The Roadcaster Pro. I apologize for that.
I like to imagine. Oh fucking Christ!
Sorry, I'm ruining the
I like to imagine someone's like, oh, I'm just going to doze off to this podcast. See what's going on in the track. Then Josh is just smacking us with your soundboard.
Tifa, when I start talking here, she's just everywhere. It's been weird for me with Splatoon 3 because it's like I've enjoyed it when I've been able to play it, but the first weekend, the communication errors were so constant and very frustrating to find a game that I spent most of my time waiting for matches instead of actually playing. It's just really frustrating. And I think, and they've even acknowledged this. There's an update coming to fix this, and so it's not meant to be like this. But it's kind of like dampened my, like enjoyment of it a bit. So, which is a bit of a shame because when the games are there, I can definitely notice the improvement. I love the lobby system, even though I've been in it a lot. You can wait.
Yeah, plenty of time there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can practice, there's other things you can do. And so that's good. And it's kept everything good about about 2. So, but I found it got a bit better. I don't know. It like later on, I was getting into more matches better, and I'm getting the bug in terms of like enjoying, playing doing the turf wars, and I'm gonna start doing the ranked mode soon because I want to wait till I'm decent enough, remembering to do things. I'm getting good again with the splat roller, so that's good. But yeah, no, it's great. But the big thing for me has been the tabletop card game. Don't know if you played this yet.
I haven't actually played it yet. No, actually.
I am so addicted to this. Like I've played more hours of that than the actual like proper Splatoon 3. And so it's a weird like mix for me, like a Tetris, a pseudo like tabletop game, and you're trying to like ink as much turf as possible, but then you're trying to like block your opponent from doing things, and then you can do eventual specials, which can over ink your opponent's ink. There's a bit of complexity to it. So I've like played a lot of that, and that's awesome. And for something, I will admit, I dismissed it when it was first announced as part of that direct line. I don't really care about that. It's new, but I don't care. I take that all back. I was wrong. This is a really cool, different feature for the game, and I think I've seen a few people on Twitter as well really enjoy it. So I don't know if I'm enjoying Splatoon 3 the right way, but the table turf mode has been the highlight for me so far.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the campaign actually too. Like, I'm on the rush. I'm just like trying 100% at going through it, making sure I'm unlocking all the. Basically, you go through and you collect like the eggs. You use them as currency to like get away this sludge that blocks your path on like multiple areas. There's like 5 areas you go to. I'm only on the first one. I only played it. I only jumped to the campaign because I could not get into a match. It kept on disconnecting and doing what it was doing. I'm like, all right, time for some single player. So that's when I went and played it on Saturday night. And I'm really enjoying that too. I think it's a lot of fun. I haven't put much time into it as I would have liked, but I'm enjoying getting back to it, and even like the motion controls, getting used to that again.
The gyro. Is it is it much different to the previous campaigns? Because I've done a little bit of each campaign, never finished it or anything. It's it's a good way to learn about the weapons a bit and go through it. But for me, it's a fairly derivative kind of experience. I haven't played Octo Expansion, so I've heard that's a lot better.
I'm in the same boat as you. Yeah. I like Splatoon 2. I probably like fell off. I don't know, halfway, and kind of Splatoon 1 to be honest. And I didn't finish Octo Expansion either, because with like Call of Duty, for example, I'm always like, how do you get a Call of Duty game and just play multiplayer and you don't play the campaign? Because I get a Call of Duty game and I play the campaign and do a bit of zombies with some friends, and that's kind of what it is.
Those are the days.
But with a Splatoon, I'm like, oh, that's me. I didn't finish the campaigns, and I think especially because it's just so it gets pretty addictive with like 3-minute matches. Like you can jump straight in, you can do your match, then just keep jumping in. Whereas like the campaigns, they're great. They're sort of, in some ways, they'll like remind Galaxy how like you're jumping and it looks like when you go through like a star portal, and you land.
Yeah.
It's like teaching you all the different mechanics for the weapons and how the game works, and the bosses are these big beasts. You've got to like use different mechanics. So it was really. I just wanted to jump into that. I can't what I hate, Josh. I can't what I hate. No, I don't hate that. I always just thought it was weird on other games sides, whereas with Splatoon, I become that.
I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I used to do the same, with some COD games, but there's some I found more interesting. I think the Black Ops ones, I love that series. That's my favorite out of all the Call of Duties with the zombies. But then
did you get Black Ops 2 on Wii U?
No, not on Wii U. That was Xbox 360 for me. And then 3 and 4 I've gotten on my PlayStation. Or did I get 2 on the PlayStation? But 3 and 4 definitely on the PlayStation. So that's the only real one I get. All the other Call of Duties aren't really my thing. I'm just big on the zombies and playing that with mates online. So I can see like for a lot of people, and it makes sense, the multiplayer, the game's a multiplayer game. And then any sort of campaign is added on. And then some of them very good, and some of them a bit more, you shoot and you move and you crouch and you hide and you throw a grenade and you go through it all. So Splatoon reminds me of that. So don't hate it. It's just don't hate yourself. It is what it is. I don't know many people who play Splatoon who'd be all over everything and loving every aspect of it. Yeah, I think it's overall what it offers is a lot of different things, isn't it? With the salmon run as well, and even this table turf thing I talked about.
I haven't even tried the new salmon run yet.
It's very similar to the last one, and there's some new bosses which is cool and all that. So yeah. It's awesome. It's very improved everywhere, and so there's been talk about whether it's worthy of being people are calling it 2.5, and I'm seeing enough there. I just wish there was a bit more. That's all. There's been but I don't I like this table turf, so that's I don't I've dialed it back a bit from what I originally thought.
It's worth the sequel.
Funny that you got to play a game fully to have a fully formed opinion. That's a weird idea. That's if you get what I mean.
That's why I don't have a fully.
Mario DLC, I was going to press the Swift. Sorry.
You're going to press it again.
Shut up.
Just wake me up. Oh God. So we got some information on the Mario Kart DLC booster course. So we saw a couple of them from Wave 3. I absolutely love the Wave 2, so I'm keen to get some more Mario Kart. Bayonetta, we've got some Bayonetta 3 trailers. Yeah, I don't know if they're keeping it in the loop. It comes out next month, but I don't know how much more information we need on the game at the moment. There was a gameplay trailer to go and check out separately, which I haven't because I don't know. I'll play the game. I'll see it when I'm playing it. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 trailer. Yeah. Have you checked it out or?
No, I just heard about it. So, I'm very keen for this series. So I got to finish the first one, and then I want to finish all the first two before next month. So, running out of time. Me too. But
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass just to add some anxiety to your life because there's some more stuff coming out.
Yes.
So does this excite you at all when you're looking at this, or you're like, oh look, just let me finish the game, then I'll come back. I'll get excited then.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't really thought about getting the expansion pass just yet. So it's cool. Like, I just don't know if I'll get it. So I'm really enjoying 3, but not sure just yet. It's a lot of money. That DLC pass, I think. Is it, or is it standard?
$45.
Yeah. Okay. So it's pretty normal to what the others have been. So, not that excited for it, even though I'm loving the game so far.
We got a Mario Strikers Battle League football update. So we got Paulina and a few new stadium, whatever. Also got a bit more information on Nintendo Switch Sports Golf update. So we're getting golf later this year, have a survival mode. So it looks like fun. It's interesting how it's taking so long, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's a little bit strange. I thought it might be an update like literally a month or two afterwards, but seems like they had. I kind of assumed they were just trying to keep this game in the news cycle, so they were just it. But I guess they weren't. I guess they actually got to make it.
They weren't ready. Yeah. And again, they've released 60% of a game at launch, haven't they? And we've had a couple of minor updates since, nothing amazing. That they had a busier second half of the year and they needed to release something in April, didn't they? So, but this like survival golf will be cool. So I will check it out for that. But
yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun. And at least with Switch Sports, at a low price. So I'm a bit more lenient on it just for that. And did you realize I went past Mario Strikers without throwing any shade? So pat on the back for Drew.
I was kind of annoyed because I wanted to give it some, but that's fine. We've given it enough spotlight, haven't we?
Yeah. What game were we talking about? No.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We got a Just Dance 2023 edition. So I always look at Just Dance. I probably actually kind of enjoy that, but if that transaction's on my credit card, goodness gracious,
you won't get a home loan. They're just like denied. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be homeless.
They'll look through statements like, what are you doing? These are fun. I have played it before,
know.
and it's a good party game, but I wouldn't buy it myself. But I've played it and had a decent time. So,
yeah, well, going back to my earlier point, I'm a 28-year-old who's playing by himself. Is Just Dance the way to go? Probably not.
No, fair point.
We got the Octopath Traveler 2. This was a surprise announcement, and I think a lot of people going into this were like, are we going to get another HD 2D game, Square Enix? And when it popped up, I'm like, cool, we got another one. I love this art style. I love everything about what Square Enix is doing with their pixel art and their HD content. And we're getting a sequel. So awesome. I think it's great that it's getting cool and that it's done well enough. And it's actually got a mobile game that came out recently as well. So it seems like they're actually sort of nailing down on this this IP, which is pretty cool. Because if you remember at the Switch like reveal event when like Octopath Traveler, it's like, well, Project Octopath Traveler. I was like, what the hell is that name? And like the name makes sense. Like, you know, there's 8 characters and they're on a path and they travel. Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, very, very Square Enix of them.
Yes.
Oh, how Square Enix of you.
That they have no marketing department, and so when it comes to naming titles, it's just literally, what is this game? You know, describe it in 3 words and done. So, yeah, I'm glad this has a sequel. I haven't played the first one, but I'm glad it's done well enough to, you know, warrant the second one. So it means the first one did well enough. So, I love the style. I'm going to pick up Live Alive because I think that looks gorgeous, and I'm keen to play like this lost hidden gem of a game that's, you know, we haven't been able to play for years. And so and I want to come back to it like I did to Earthbound, play it all these years later and, you know, enjoy it for that. So it's a great style. I really hope Nintendo did something with this, like an Earthbound in this style would be unreal.
Oh, for me, like I talk about announcements that would make my lungs just open up and take every bit of oxygen in the earth, suck it in, and just become some god beings. Just, oh yes, the announcement that would make me do is like if the Pokemon company like remade their Pokemon games looking like that.
Yes.
I would be all over myself. I'd be rubbing every inch of my head just in excitement.
We've talked about this, haven't we?
No,
yes, black and white, because they had the whole mixture of 3D and pixel. So, and that's a perfect candidate for next remake. If they did an HD 2D like that, I would be happy with that.
Yeah, because like for me with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I think I wasn't a fan of the whole art direction. I think it looked worse, but I'm sure people out there disagree. That's okay.
There would be some. At least 2.
At least 2. We've at least got 2 listeners, so who knows? No. So I'll run through them and stop me if you want to elaborate a bit more on it, if you're excited. So we got Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line from Square Enix, a musical game of all the Square Enix songs. No. It Takes Two coming to Nintendo Switch.
Only that it looks a lot worse than the PlayStation version. Like Mickey and I played this, and we're about halfway through, I think, and we need to finish it. But this trailer, it looks rough. It's, you know, great that it's on the Switch. Like it's rough. You know, that was my first initial reaction. I don't know if you felt the same.
Yeah, like graphically, it's like, oh god, it took a hit. But it is kind of cool how you play on separate Switches.
Yes, that is cool.
That will benefit the game a lot.
Yes,
just because how it works. So if you want to play with someone online, you get basically like I forgot exactly what they call it, but I think it's called a buddy pass actually. Like you get like a code to put in, and someone elsewhere can download it, not own it, but they can download it just through the buddy pass and play with. Otherwise, because it's a mandatory multiplayer game, so otherwise people it'd be a bit rough. It's all right. You've got to buy a game, you've got to buy it just to do this campaign.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of cool on how that works for the co-op. Got Harvestella, which didn't really show me anything new or interesting from their previous third-party direct, but it caught me then. It's just coming out at a weird time. It's coming out November 4th, so
just before Pokemon. It's Mickey's very excited for this. This looks great. Out of all the 5 or 6 farming sims we saw in the direct, this is the coolest looking one, I feel. And the RPG life simulation crossover is cool. So the demo's out now. So if you're keen on it,
yeah, I've downloaded it actually.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It's probably actually a good time to mention just like the the farming games, because for me they showed off Story of Seasons. Oh, cool! A brand new Story of Seasons game. That's cool. And then like a couple of other ones popped up, which were just like the brand new IP. Yeah, like brand new IP or whatever.
Yeah.
Then like Rune Factory pops up. I'm like, oh, they're literally bringing out every farming simulator there is.
Yeah, Fae Farm. Yeah, there's a few. Crazy.
With like Rune Factory, it was basically the story of Season developers when Harvest Moon was like their main series. They made like a bit more of an RPG series called Rune Factory, where it has like monster slaying and a few more like RPG elements in. And there was a couple of games on 3DS, and we got a port of Rune Factory 4. We got a brand new game earlier this year in the West, Rune Factory 5. Now they're going back to Rune Factory 3. So just the fact that, we've had the sort of like going back to older games, I'm like, wow, that is they're really getting every possible game they can. And I just found it weird. Like none of the games looked bad, but I think Nintendo just really did their partners a disservice, being like, surely, like, I'm sure they're very different. They've got different elements. Like Rune Factory would be a bit different to Harvestella. Is probably very different to some of these more casual games without monster slaying, and more focused on growing crops and all of that. But just like together, they all look similar when they got someone with a hoe just playing on the ground. And yeah, I just felt a little bit sorry about them, like for the developers, to be honest.
It's interesting because I think they can't know what other submissions are from these developers into like, I want to be in this direct. Surely, I don't know.
Yeah,
or could they?
But it's it's up to Nintendo though. Like, whatever their team is putting all this together, like every single game is hand picked. Like they're thinking like, oh, we really want to push Pikmin Bloom. Let's put it in there, make our boss Miyamoto happy. We've got to make sure we get Fall Guys in there because that's great, like revenue from all of like the DLC and microtransactions. Like, they want to just like make sure was on their system. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It was a lot. Yeah, so they could have thought about it.
The cloud version of a Resident Evil Village, and it's actually in Australia. This is one of the cloud versions. We can actually download the demo right now and give it a go. So I can watch it at 1 frame a second, because like even like Xbox's X Cloud doesn't work at my house. So I could only imagine what whatever Capcom's got cooking for Switch. I doubt it would be very good, but have fun if it does work. If you don't have another console and you're I'm just fascinated. Someone with like fiber internet, like awesome internet, and they just got a Switch. Like, you don't have like a laptop that could run Resident Evil to like that internet a bit better. Like it's interesting. Like your grandma's just got fiber internet, and it's just the grandkid with like the Switch. Like I don't know. The Switch has a huge install base. I understand why they're trying to tap into it, but such a and like for me, I love the idea of streaming. I think it is going to be the future. But for me as a consumer, there's no way I'm buying a cloud version. The only I would use the cloud service is like, because you buy the game, you can play it on cloud, you can download it, you can also play it on PC with some games that are play anywhere. I think that's a great way to go. But when it's like $80 and you can only play it on the Nintendo Switch as cloud, it's a bit rough. But
the service isn't going to be great. It's they're not going to it's cool that they can do it. I'm sure it'll do it all right. Like, there's even 7 and 2 and 3 are coming, and so they're adding to it, and there must be a reason. I think must be enough demand. We're getting a lot of these now on the Switch, and so I'm surprised it's in Australia. So that's good, because we do miss out on some of these.
We got a Sifu, which is It was only on PlayStation consoles earlier this year, and it's a lot of people. It's been in like their Game of the Year contenders, and I've been looking at like but I just like, oh look, I don't know when I'm going to be getting to it, honestly. And
yeah,
looks like it's taken like a fair bit of a graphical hit on Switch as well, but coming out not the 9th of November. So cool. If you're interested in that, we got a Master Detective Archives Rain Code from the creators of Danganronpa, which has me interested. It looks quite good. So that comes out autumn next year, if it is Australian autumn, because I've got the Australian press release.
Yes.
So I don't know. I assume I don't have to.
They call it fall in the States, so it's definitely Australia if it's called autumn. Yeah.
It feels weird reading autumn. I feel so.
Yes.
So just. What have the Americans done to me? Fall.
I mean, Western culture, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. This one looked cool. This is like one of the more different games I felt that was presented, and at this point there was a lot of farming stuff announced, and this was something cool and different. So, yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, and apart from that, I'll just skip through. Like, I think we've been discussing some of this. Like, I want to skip down to Atelier Ryza, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key. I'm looking forward to it. I don't have too much to say on it, but it looks like they've changed like a few like gameplay mechanics and stuff like that as well. So I'm keen to see that. But yeah, is there other games that you'd like to touch on?
The Tales of Symphonia remastered. So that's a GameCube game that's coming to the Switch. So that's cool. And this one's really hard to buy. So yeah, I wasn't expecting this. It's really cool. I've heard great things about it, and so it's another cool RPG to sort of play. So yeah, I just know it's been expensive, and like GameCube games are so hard to get these days, and so yeah, just nice little bonus. Yeah,
I saw a tweet from Imran Khan actually, just on Twitter. Apparently, all the remasters on all the platforms, they run at 30 frames a second, but the GameCube version actually ran at 60 frames, and it's because the remastered is based on the PlayStation 2 version, which was 30 frames. That's strange.
That's weird. That's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit disappointing. Like,
yeah, a bit.
It's literally remastered. It should run. Like,
yeah, it should, shouldn't it? Yeah. It's a 20-year-old game. I would have thought so, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's also, like there's stuff I see that people like would care about, like Front Mission First Remake, and there's Front Mission 2 Remake as well. A lot of people would be keen to get their hands into, but yeah, don't do too much for me. But it's cool that like there's something for everyone. I feel like there's just so many games, and I was happy to see Tunic actually. It's coming over the Switch this month as well. Because that's a perfect game to sit down and play on the Switch. OLED, nice screen. Enjoy yourself.
Oh yeah, look gorgeous, won't it? Radiant Silvergun was another one. This was this game that Treasure, who made the Warrior World and Sin and Punishment. This was their next cool game that was a popular entry in a series, and so that's
just one of those too, weren't they?
Just an arcade shoot 'em up. So that's cool. That's that's out now. So I don't mind those games. So there was a lot. There was something for everyone really. So I think there's one at least. And I've got a few games that I'll pick up from this. There's a few a lot that I won't, but I was really excited for what I liked.
Every single game.
No, that's right. No, I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna play Resident Evil, I'm not gonna play it on the Switch. I think the PlayStation is the one for that. We'll get Xbox.
Yeah. So what would be like your top 3 favorite games from this?
Pikmin 4 easily. Fire Emblem Engage, and then tough. I think not Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, just because I love the name. We get a date finally, and it was cool to sort of have that now, because I think that's been annoying me as well. How long that's been, unknown for. So, they're my top 3, and then special shout out to the 64 special stuff. That's some good stuff coming. How about you?
Yeah. Well, for me, top is Zelda. That's been the game I've been looking forward to for a long now. Probably like a couple of years to the release of Breath of the Wild. So just always keen. Got the name, the release date, set our calendars, see what's going on there. Number 2 would be Fire Emblem Engage, coming out pretty soon. Excited for that. Keen to get into it. And number 3 would be Atelier Ryza 3. Keen that. That's another game that's coming out early as well in February. So just a big start to the year, just straight away. Massive RPGs for Drew. Yeah.
Great start. And then I was watching it and just realized, not realized, but just, it's how amazing Square Enix's support of the Switch has been. So much content. And, when previously, you look at how, Final Fantasy moved away from, when the 64 came. And so you look at it now and, these, at least timed exclusives these games are for the Switch. It's great. So, if you love RPGs, JRPGs, it's the Switch is the perfect console for you.
It makes me worry, like these rumors and that about Square Enix getting gobbled up by PlayStation. I'm like, oh god, like how bad would that be for us on Switch? Because they're doing great stuff on PlayStation with Final Fantasy 16 and et cetera, but if you lost this support, it'd be leave a massive hole. Like Square Enix is killing it on Switch.
That's right. If it was Xbox, then I wouldn't be as worried, but I don't think that's going to happen with how American companies buying Japanese ones. I think there's some red tape behind that. But if PlayStation bought it, it'd be goodbye these HD 2D pixel remasters, these new games. It'd be a big loss.
Definitely. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of this this meaty roundup. So anything else you'd like to touch on before I kick you out the door, just like a football, just a bit of a drop kick? Just hoya.
Oh yeah. Pikmin 4. Buy it. Play the previous games, please. I want this to do really well because I don't want to wait. At this rate, it'll be 11 years once this game's released before Pikmin 5 gets announced. And so
Jesus Christ. All right.
Pick it up, give it a go. Yeah, give it a go. It's a fun time. You will not be disappointed.
What year did Pikmin 3 come out?
2013, I reckon.
Yeah, so it'll be 10 years.
Yeah. But I think the next one, it was 9 years between 2 and 3, 10 years between 3 and 4. I'm just like,
sorry, I just thought you said I thought you said 11 years for for this one. I'm like, wait a minute. That's one off, Josh.
The fact checks.
Oh,
2013. Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. That brings us to the end of episode 233. You remember what
33. Yep.
I'm throwing off a little bit, Josh. I heard my baby crying in the next room. So I'm like, oh God, what am I going to come out to once this show's over?
Get out of here, Drew. Look after your kid. But thank you for having me. This has been awesome.
No worries, my man. So if anybody would like to go and check out your stuff, the Nintenvania podcast, yourself on Twitter, Discord communities, that to track what you're doing, where can they find you, mate?
Yeah, so Nintenvania is the name. I'm having a very similar show to you on the House of Mario. I'm a bit experimental with what I'm doing. I've done poems the last podcast. I try and have different guests on every episode. So I just have a good fun time. I'm really enjoying it. Maybe doing a direct recording this weekend with Mickey and someone else. So keep an ear out for that. But yeah, on Twitter, Discord, love people to join the Discord. That's slowly growing and would love to have you on. And again, thanks for having me, Drew.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I can definitely vouch for Josh. I love his show. Love listening to it every fortnight. So another South Australian podcast. So if you're sick of listening to, I don't know, people in a particular part of the world, you're feeling a bit racist and you want to listen to some South Australian people, there you go. There's another one.
That's right. Thank you. But you're always going to be the original and the best.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want you to leave a Google review of what you just said, or when you rate my podcast, just if you're feeling less racist, is that what you said? I don't know.
I was feeling a bit, so I decided to listen to an Australian podcast instead of one in X place. I don't want to put a mark on anyone because then I'll become the racist.
That's how it works. That's right. That's right.
That's how it works. Yeah, God, my brain is fried. So everybody, thanks so much for listening to the show. I really appreciate it. But the doors to this episode, they're closed. Catch you later.